Listen, not everyone not everyone is going to hit, okay?
You know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Michael Scott.
No, Wayne Gretzky.
No, Michael Scott.
Wayne Gretzky.
You'll figure it out one day. SB has the first selection this time around. Of course, that means they get the first ban as well. Do they ban out one of the problems? They're going to keep banning out the Carnanos. Really don't want to see that new Hunter on the board anywhere. Whereas Elevate, where do you think they're going?
Elevate, I don't know, because they've been always practicing so many different god picks and bans. You can never really tell where the direction they're going to be going, because even during LAN, they said they had so many different strategies. We've seen some of their strategies. However, against Astral Authority in the finals, they weren't confident enough to really run those strategies. So I expect them against some of these lesser experienced teams to start going for more of these wacky picks.
I like the Khepri ban a lot coming out from SB. Looking at what Khepri was able to do last game, not just about the revive. The abduct was more important than the revive in that game. Kenshin really has an understanding of how to use his character aggressively, whether it's throwing the root over a wall to find the follow-up, either him or his teammate, or just a raw hug bug, and then his team blows him up.
Whether or not he's stopping the bludgeon out of the Bologna, or whether or not he's setting up Baronic for those tough shots, it's a god that's definitely worth banning if you're not trying to prioritize it in your picks and bans.
Osiris will be hovered and likely selected. I think this god is really universally loved by the solo laners. Listen, what does he do? Why? Is it just because he's so tanky?
It's a combination of that as well as just being so annoying with the slows. He has two different slows here on his first ability with his sickle, and then his second ability where if you hit your first one as well, you're not only slowing your opponent, but you're also gaining movement speed for yourself, easier to chase down members. And then you have your tether stun, which is looking to mitigate a lot of damage whoever's linked, and look for the stun after about 4 seconds.
The tether is the one ability that's unlike the rest in that he's largely a single target character, which is why I always question his teamfight application, but then he just runs people down and I look like a silly guy. Chang'e, on the other hand, clearly teamfight implication. Waxing Moon, one of the stronger abilities that are able to really control team fights, and here, this is her home, console world. PC has really just accepted that Chang'e is one of the guys.
Still a flex pick.
Jungle, mid, but way back when, console has been playing Chang'e since console was a thing.
I love Chang'e in the soul lane way back in the day. Unfortunately now, with the changes to the soul lane a little bit, making it more risky to for the Biscuit in that solo lane, going to lose your blue buff quite heavily. Still, Elevate going for this combination between this Robin for Dr. L and the Osiris for Delny.
Listen, I say it all the time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Elevate won off of Osiris and Robin in certain team fights. I mean, they were able to just, Robin would bait stuff out and walk away thanks to the overhead kick, and then Osiris would front flip and just shut down healing, and that's exactly what he's going to do to Chang'e as well. Mercury being hovered here. This is an interesting selection. Big burst damage out of the guy.
It's an interesting combination here between Mercury and the Chang'e. It's actually going to be Nemesis hovered over instead, which is going to have a lot of damage here. Whatever target they're looking to burst down here, you're looking at that, the ultimate from Nemesis, the Waxing Moon out of Chang'e. That target could easily die.
I just like the Nemesis selection here. There's 2 tanks already on the board, and support still needs to be picked. You get Nemesis. That's classic. That's what you do. She eats tanks. You pick her. They got 2 tanks. Go Nemesis. That's how it works. Welcome to Smite. Nemesis. Kill tanks.
Well, whether or not you're picking the Nemesis or the Hebo here for Elevate is going to do a lot of damage as well. There's the tankiness coming out of Elevate. Here comes some more burst damage.
They're not going to do the Hebo. We've seen characters really get hovered and nobody locks it. Hebo gets selected! Your boy! Hebo brings a lot to the table. He's going to bring a lot of burst damage. Robin and Osiris bring a little bit. It's that single target. It's that slow chip damage. Hebo is going to amplify this by just bringing out the burst.
I was hoping to see your face the same way we saw it yesterday when Hebo gets locked in. You were like...
So that it's really funny because they were making fun of me, of course, and obviously when I'm sitting there like, yeah, Hebo, right? Like, I understand that. When I first saw the Hebo and my eyes get big, that was just involuntary. I just like Hebo that much. I think he's such a dynamic character. I mean, he is the definition of glass cannon. He's gonna get blown up, but if he doesn't, he's gonna blow you up. One team fight can be won by the team down 7,000 gold, and he can go ahead and win the game for them. I think it's really exciting.
The knock, like, he has good defensive options as well. If his team ever gets behind, one good knock-up can pull people out of position. Then you do the crushing wave. You're gonna find multiple kills. Even offensively, if you wanted to go for the Blink Relic alternative, you could be looking for a lot of highlight plays coming out of this Habwa.
Nemesis is going to bring a lot of slows, and then as Taco calls it, the Elo carpet, right? This is the Atlas of the Yellow River. That speeds up him and his teammates' immunity to slows. Really powerful as well. Of course, there are a lot of downsides. He just gets murdered if there is a strong burst on the side. So SB has to really think about that and see how they're going to control this Habwa.
The Atlas of the Yellow River is going to be so crucial to make sure that he saves that cooldown every time Nemesis uses her ultimate.
Exactly. Got to be able to get out of there. The Soul. Now, we saw this banned against Elevate earlier on when they already had Thoth selected. So this is likely in mind for Michael Checo. Going to keep an eye on that one and see where that one walks to.
Soul is a great option here, but surprising for the composition out of Elevate thus far. There's these two tanky targets and then these two magical damage dealers here. I'm expecting Soul in the Hunter role, Hebo mid, so they don't really have that physical late game hyper carry that they would really like. So Strictly Business is going to have to be on their game building this magical defense instead.
Exactly, yeah. Soul's going to be piloted by Michael Checo. Like I said, it was banned out when they had the Thoth selected, and Baronic is just Mr. Habwa. That's what he does. He brings it out in the mid lane. So expect that to be where everybody lands. This, I wouldn't mind. I was just going to ask for that, actually. I was going to ask for either a Warrior or a Bacchus. I wanted to see a little bit more burst damage on top of what they already have. Habwa, Soul, and then, like I said, either the Bacchus or a damaging warrior support. You're able to just, that's the strategy. The strategy is blow somebody up. Sun Wukong is the selection. I think that is perfect. You talked about being too heavy on the magical side. Sun Wukong is going to be able to play support, but also bring the damage in those team fights as well as disruption by way of his animals. I think this is a great, great oddball draft from Elevate.
Pretty decent base damage coming out of Sun Wukong in his Master's Will and his Cudgel. His Tiger Stun does a lot of base damage, so he doesn't necessarily need a lot of physical power items despite the scaling, receiving a little bit of buffs on his first and second abilities. Looking at the lineup here, Kenshin is playing that Sun Wukong, and he's going to be able to do quite a lot here once these team fights start rolling around just because of the base damage alone.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think this is, and I called it an oddball draft. It's, the characters aren't exactly meta, but it's absolutely something that we can look for, and I think this is a strong draft, even though it doesn't follow the rules of you know, the other drafts. I always talk about balancing the equation, and they have absolutely balanced their equation.
In the solo lane so far, Reminisced with Nikwid here, trying to take on Deli and Kenshin, trying to look for that 2v2 edge, and with Nikwid's bludgeon, that hammer is going to be able to clear rather effectively, and that Reminisced should have the slight edge over his opposition. Kenshin, surprisingly, a support role being here in the solo lane instead.
Yeah, that's going to put the jungler elsewhere on the map. You can see the jungler, Dr. L, with Baronic on the Hebo, making sure he's able to go ahead and collect all the necessary buffs. That's going to be important. Starting off the Bancroft too, I like that. Ton of power, 60 power, about 12 lifesteal on that as well. So just nice starting option.
It's a little bit of a risky option too, though, because it cost 1,400 gold to go into this idea, because now you're only being with two different potions here of what you wanted to go
nice
for.
And easy. Shaliber, sit down. Dr. L. Ouch, just controlled. Big damage out of Baronic.
No chance in that mid lane whatsoever. Quick and easy. Elevate getting off to a great little start. They invaded the red buff. They're able to extend it to that first blood. Now positioning themselves around the speed buff against Strictly Business in the dual lane, though. Michael Checo left in a 1v2, but with that Disapparate about to put him into that immunity, everyone from Strictly Business having to retreat.
Smart play there to be able to pick up the Disapparate. Level 3, it's really tempting to put 2 points into your clear, making sure to just stay safe and get your escape there for level 3, very important. But that right there, that's what got Shaliber in trouble. The knock-up, you can't do anything about it. You're not able to Moonlight Dance once you're in the air, and the control that Baronic brought with the damage after the fact, that's why Shaliber fell.
He even got his immunity frames at level 2, that dance ability, because he recognized the potential burst damage coming out of Elevate. But like you mentioned before, one misstep, that knockup is going to displace you heavily. And off of that first blood here, the back here coming out of Baronic, he finishes off that Bancroft's Talon. It's very easy to just go back to base and finish that off because you invested 1,400 gold. It only costs 900 gold to complete that item. Yeah,
damage over here. Nickwood's in trouble. The dash forward can't help out, and the second kill goes to the support player, Kenshin, and that's going to be a very good look for Team Elevate.
Not able to really keep the wave outside of his tower, being a little bit too greedy, I believe. Nickwood not wanting to lose any gold or experience under that tower. If you're in a losing matchup, it's just better to just retreat, because now you're going to miss out on the gold and experience under the tower while you're dead anyway, so you might as well just save up some of your health potions and wait for that next wave as you're taking from the health potion.
I love how Kenshin's playing this right now, Anatoly. He's just jungle too. There's no reason for him to be anywhere else on the map. Reminisce is going down. It's just a matter of who gets credit for it. Delny off of the assist from the junglers, plural. Kenshin's just playing double jungle with the Sun Wukong. I love it. There's no reason for him to help out as Hunter. He's playing this exactly the way I had anticipated when they selected the warrior, be more damage oriented, and it's working out flawlessly, at least for the early game here.
Strictly Business is going to have a difficult time now in their solo side jungle here. The solo lane fell. The jungler fell. All these buffs can easily go in the way of Elevate now if they time their backs effectively enough to try to get these power spike items and look for more, especially with Baronic here invading a red buff 2 times in a row now.
Yeah, he's going to be able... Ooh, here comes Chunga, but oh no, too late. Baronic able to pick it up and just walks away. He's actually going to fall here, no help. Oh, but he gets the kill. Shaliber falls down. Baronic understands he's dead. He's just trying to walk away, but he takes one with him.
The reason why he knew he was dead, he didn't have mobility, not investing into boots, being that far out of position. He secured the red buff, which is a win in itself, and he realized with the dance down being from Chang'e and going for the purification beats instead of the Aegis, that was almost a guaranteed kill here.
So it's actually really interesting. I very rarely, I like the Bancroft 2 start. I don't dislike it. But I very rarely like the finish of it. I want to see the boots come out first. I don't mind seeing Do More, Book of Thoth, stackable items that are rushed to be finished. I don't mind that rush, totally, because you want to get those stacks online. But here in this scenario, I think that the, 40 extra power by going from Bancroft 2 to Bancroft 3, plus the passive, which, real talk, if you're Habwa, you're alive or you're dead. You're very rarely in between, so you're not going to get much off of that. Dr. L takes out Fatal Ghost. I would rather see him go boots.
Honestly, I would too, but that 900, think about this, 900 gold, you're getting that extra 40 power, extra lifesteal, whereas that 900 gold, you're getting not fully completed mobility anyway for the boots too.
It's still, oh wow, Gold Fury, nice and easy. You don't need boots for that one. Gold Fury stands still, gets taken down, and Shaliber just gets run down by Dr. L. See you later. Dr. L on a tear. He's going to get taunted into some damage by Giovannis. Big play right there, and Remnant is going to hunt down Kenshin. The bird's gone. Can he get in the field? Yes, he can. In the field of dreams, the cloud, whatever. It's good.
Baronic, he does so much damage with this Bancroft's Talon, as well as Michael Checo playing the soul for that Supernova. And the abilities from Hebo have a lot of scaling here. You're looking at the ultimate, it's 115% of your magical power. His first ability is 80% scaling with a very short 3-second cooldown, not to mention the Water Sprout having 85% scaling as well. So that extra 40 power right off the bat has helped him clear out that red buff in time and find that earlier kill onto Shaliber, which probably wouldn't have happened if he didn't have that much magical power.
I don't know.
Think about it this way. Shaliber almost got there in time to steal that away.
Sure.
If Habwa didn't have that much magical power, he doesn't clear it at the same speed. Shaliber steals it with a Waxing Moon and kills Baronic.
When you put it that way, all right, maybe. I'll give you a strong maybe. I'm not sure if the red buff timing is that affected, but at the same time, he has the movement speed to run away. Either way, we saw what happened, and he's going to build boots at some point, right?
Sure. But he would
built
have
into
Boots 2, though, instead of Bancroft's 3, right? So you're looking at 10 power from Boots 2 versus the 40 additional power from completing Bancroft's.
Either way, right after he completes it, he goes into the starter item. So still relatively slow without the boots, and right now it might be an issue. 3 players crowd controlled on Elevate, and Strictly Business seems to have the upper hand, although it's going to quickly turn. There's a jump in from Nickwood, help from Fatal Ghost, collapse onto Dr. L as well. Osiris making his long lane transformation, and Michael Checo able to get out of jail there. Nice little root coming out from the Robin, but it's just going to be more damage as Kenshin gets taunted, and he's gone. Reminisce puts number 4 on the board for SB.
A little bit of sloppiness here coming out of Elevate. No reason to continue aggressing after that point. Red buff was already taken, so there's no more action around that side of the map. The death from Baronic was also an interesting fashion, considering he didn't even need to use the purification beads. Apparently there was a lot of damage here from Strictly Business. They couldn't even find the kill onto Fatal Ghost despite getting him into the sky.
Yeah, just couldn't finish it, honestly. And I think that had to do with split DPS. Everybody kind of had a different target. Nobody was really cohesive. I bet if we went to a listen-in right there, it would just go, 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 kill, 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 kill. I got him, I got him, I got him. Beads down, beads down. And nothing really actually being said, because it just looked like everybody had their own prerogative and nobody was on the same page.
You know, I'm smiling, but that sometimes is the case here for a lot of picks or a lot of communication, whether it's the SCL or the SPL. They're trying to figure out the right timing of a window to try to figure out who's out of position, which cooldowns are not available, whether it's beads, whether it's ultimates, because without Habwa ultimate, there goes his only escape, with the exception of the Alice of the Yellow River. But that's also going to be an easy timing, especially when this Hebo doesn't even have boots completed quite yet, just now getting boots 2 online.
Yeah, those boots are, it's funny because we always talk about power spikes for characters, right? We talk about their ability to do more damage. Freya has her 3 items, although we haven't seen her in a long time, so that's kind of a bad example. But my point is we talk about the on and off switch. Hey, you've got your items, you're powerful, you can go. With Hebo, for me, it's less of a power spike because he's always powerful. It's more about when those boots come online, he can actually get away where normally he can't.
Nice little water spout from Baronic, securing one of the oracles, denying the vision coming out of Strictly Business. Already with Amasa Mune completed for Dr. L. He's going to be able to dive that backline much easier now, despite already having a lot of damage reduction with that Mystic Crush. Now, all those protections per nearby target out of that one katana item.
Oh, the taunt onto Dr. L. He comes with the wrong pathing, but he's got an overhead kick, so he'll just get bit for about 25% or so. Maybe a little bit more, able to walk away, no problem. 20 seconds until the portal even spawns, and Elevate going to get the last spawning of the gremlins just to help them out a little bit more. They're up about 2,000 gold here, thanks to their first blood and some other shots they were able to take. Most importantly, the Gold Fury. And right now, Reminisce is still trying to run away, actually aggress into his own jungle.
This has been the story this whole second game of the set. This red buff has been the focal point. Nice little double taunt. Dr. L is in a lot of trouble. It's actually Baronic trying to get out of danger, doing a lot of damage to Shalibur. It's going to allow Dr. L to try to dive that one.
I understand where he came from. I like the play. He trades his life for the damage onto 2 separate players, but unfortunately his team can't clean up both. Finally taking down Reminisce. Chang'e able to get out, and Chilvanus will do the same, dashing into the mid lane. Baronic knew that he was probably going to die. He could have gotten out without dying, but he wouldn't have done anything in the team fight. So he trades his life for the big damage onto the ult. And that gets... okay, there it is. I thought he shot it through the wall.
Almost there. Just one arrow too soon there for Fatal Ghost. Not able to really steal that away from Michael Checo, contesting it, losing multiple buffs here around the dueling side. Fatal Ghost has been the victim of this 2-level deficit as a result. Now going into Ironwood Branch Bow, the magical damage equivalent of the Ikavile, trying to take away some of the magical power from both Michael Checo and Baronic. But hey, if you're close enough to be taking shots at Checo or Baronic, they're close enough to take shots at you as well.
Yeah, you gotta. I love the way you put that, especially Baronic, since he's the Habwa is he's like a melee mage with his water cannon, which is really where the damage is coming out from. Obviously, the water spout a little bit more longer range, but the water hands are what you got to be afraid of. It's a very short cooldown, very high damage, and he's just going to be able to do it to you again and again if you keep walking in there.
especially with a little bit of cooldown reduction. So already a 3-second cooldown. So every 10%, you're looking at 0.3 removed from that. And if you do get maxed out CDR, that becomes 1.8 seconds.
And something that I think we're going to see the Aegis on the Habwa, as he's got to be safe, or the Blink, as that allows him to execute his ultimate a little bit more effectively and a little bit safer. The Bracer of Undoing is really fun on Habwa because you get to machine gun it.
Yes.
Just double barrel, water cannon, Bracer, water cannon, and they fall over.
There's nothing you can do but Mystic Rush used in the backline, forcing the rolling assault from Fatal Ghost. Nice little peel from Chilvanus with the taunt. Dr. L is going to get the first victim.
Baronic just gets toasted from the sky. Nickwood able to capitalize off of the damage from his Hunter. There's Shaliber looking for help from Athena. It's going to come down. Shaliber still alive, dies finally to the hand of Delny. Fatal Ghost forced under the tower and no ultimate available for the Rom any longer. Delny taunted underneath the tower, trying to find the remaining last hits. Can't, has to find his escape. He'll slowly walk away, no issue there. Elevate, they've got the numbers, but they really don't want to dive too far, it looks like. Kenshin and Soul, that's Michael Checo, going to play it a little bit safer and instead just look for the objective, the smaller one of the Oracles.
Gold Fury not being attempted by Elevate. They don't really have the damage with Baronic not being in the action quite yet. Relatively close game still in the early phases. A similar story compared to the last game where we didn't see too much action out of Elevate until the later stages. Once they got that one big team fight coming out of Delny, once they started grouping up. And I'm expecting the same story here. As long as Baronic can survive a team fight, that's when Elevate should really start to escalate some of their success into these objectives.
Look at that. Baronic shows up, just throws down the carpet, and everybody has to walk away. Because all he wants to do is walk up and ult, and it's over. He's able to take out that objective. Right now, 1-4-2. It hasn't happened often. Kenshin in trouble. And there's mid laner trying to peel for him. Right through the team fight comes the Hebo ultimate. Big damage on the Shaliber. Dr. L chases him down, and it works. But Baronic trades his life on the back end as his peel has gone deep. Dr. L taunted, likely to fall here. And he's going to get out. No, he won't. Chilvanus finds the last hit. Help from Rom on the left side. Chilvanus falls. Chilvanus gets the kill. Looking good on the Athena. 3-0-3. I think this is a much better performance on this character versus the Sylvanas that he's named after.
2-for-1 victory here. Shaliber sacrificing his life for Baronic and Dr. L. The Habwa ultimate is doing a little bit of damage here, but a little bit too ambitious here, trying to go into the action, because now you don't really have a necessary escape here. The purification beads was still not being used here as the 5th death happened from Baronic, needing that second relic.
Delny gonna get in trouble, and here comes the taunt, and he's gonna fall down right here. Chilvanus one more time. That puts him 4-0-3. Number 2 from the bottom of the player damage is the Habwa. Should never happen. You mentioned something really, really, really important. Baronic, if he can stay alive in team fights, and then you continued speaking. That if is one of the that's what Habwa's character card should say. If he can stay alive in team fights. Because we saw Skilladon play Jungle Habwa yesterday, and the same idea. You saw a couple of good ults, you saw a couple of good water spouts, and you're like, all right, this character can do it. But then he's focused the entire time during the game, and he's not able to do anything.
Shaliber in a little bit of trouble, forced to retreat. Elevate gets the Gold Fury. The backline, Fatal Ghost trying to snag that one away. Michael Checo not having much mana, having to retreat back to his base as the Portal Demon gets responded by Strictly Business. Training out a little bit, rather inefficiently, but at least they still get something out of it. And also the timing that they get it instantly. Yeah. So it allows them to take this portal after taking so much damage in that team fight.
That's going to keep the game nice and tied up. 15 minutes in. Elevate versus Strictly Business. 9-10 read the kills. Nice and tight there. 38-5 to 38-8. Nice and tight there. SB with the slight lead. And I really stress the word slight.
It's not too much here. The most experience that they have of an advantage is in that mid lane, just 1 level advantage, but actually 2 levels advantage between Chilvanus and Kenshin here. Kenshin hasn't been getting the same kind of success in these teamfights as opposed to Chilvanus has been getting a lot of kill secures with that Sunder.
Which is, this is the character we talked about, Sun Wukong. He's the one that we want to have the kills. He's the one that wants to be 4-0-3 right now. 1-1-3, not a bad look at all. But still, you want more damage. You want Kenshin to be able to be a damaging part of these team fights, and he's been able to. He's just shy of where Hebo's at. I think that's more Hebo's fault than his, though.
To be fair, it's pretty easy to hit that Sunder once you find that target with a taunt, right? Then you also have the Nemesis ultimate to boot, and then that shield wall coming from the Athena is going to be doing a lot of damage with all that amplified damage from the Sunder, from the Nemesis ult.
I mean, shield wall is a strong ability. We see Jungle Athena played without much power usually, right? Not quite full defense, but the base damage on Athena and what she's able to do is strong. And once you get 2 points in the taunt, shield wall, taunt, they're guaranteed to get hit by the second spot of shield wall. So big damage.
As long as there's no crowd control reduction on that god, as long as they're not diminishing return mitigated from other forms of CC, Dr. L going to be using that Magai's Blessing. Shalibur taking all the damage.
And he's going to be able to dance away, at least for the moment, until here comes Dr. L giving him out. And down he goes, Shalibur to the bottom. Trouble as Robin takes to the sky, looking for the shots on a Baronic, who's able to dance around them, won't get hit. Rally over the top comes from Nikwid, but Habwa still able to deal out that damage, finally making himself known. 1,000 damage in this team fight from the Hebo by himself. Reminisce gets knocked up and is forced to pop the shield and run away. And that's the first team fight that goes really successfully for Elevate. And what a surprise, Baronic is staying alive.
Look what happens when your mid-mage survives. Your Glass Cannon mage that's able to do out all this damage. Taking out Shalibur was a huge component into the success of Elevate in that team fight. You're taking away a lot of the guaranteed damage from efficient Wax-and-Moon. He used a panic Wax-and-Moon because he knew he was going to die, so he wanted to try to get that off anyway and be a little useful in that team fight, but he also stripping away the healing by this Chang'e, which also is going to mitigate some of this damage from Habwa.
Habwa was sitting at about 4,300 damage before that team fight. It's almost 2,000. It's 2,000 damage that he does right there in that fight by himself. That's absurd. If Hebo's able to do 2,000 damage every team fight at 18 minutes, and look at his itemization. Look at his itemization. He's going to have more items online. So, I mean, he's just going to wind up doing more damage.
Already having a decent amount of penetration between Shoes of the Magi, the Dynasty Plate Helmet, now working on a Spear of Desolation, also having a lot of magical power with that Bancroft's Talent, and this is a good spot for Baronic to be in now as he's transitioned to getting that second relic after hitting level 12, gonna make these 5 deaths that he got earlier on less meaningful.
A little trouble over here is the Oracles, well, they get split down the middle. Nobody really gets division over there. Dr. L fighting 1v3. He thought it was just Shalibur, but everybody else showed up. The taunt is strong, but Robin's able to get out of there thanks to his Magi's Blessing.
I like the idea behind it because the way Strictly Business has been playing their composition has been relying on Sylvanas with these Athena taunts, also maybe off of the Waxing Moons from Shalibur, and with this item choice from Dr. L, he's able to stay in the backline just uncontested if he really wants to. He already has a lot of damage reduction with that Mr. Grush. He has the Masamune for more protections. Now getting a little bit of health here with that Maga's Busting. Could potentially be looking for that Wing Blade now.
Oh, the ping's coming out. Reminisce looking for Dr. L. The Magi Blessing still on cooldown for about half a minute. The taunt's strong, but not enough to go ahead and take down Dr. L, who is, I guess I won't say tanky, but just by picking Robin, you have some innate tankiness in the character itself, so harder to kill than most.
Still looking for a little bit more action. Gold Fury has respawned. Everybody from Elevate positioning themselves to try to zone Fatal Ghost away from the action as they're poking out Reminisce.
There's going to be another good taunt, this time onto the Monkey. He's able to go ahead and get out of there thanks to the Ox form, hitting the knockup on Fatal Ghost. A little bit of heal coming out from Shalibur to keep everybody relevant, and the Gold Fury will be pulled by Elevate. Zone duty coming out for Mr. L, Dr. L.
Still, Gold Fury, 50% health in the backline. Dr. L looking for something. Reminisce having to double dash away. Supernova. Supernova being used as well. Siobhan is trying to return the left. Reminisce falling on the right. And then with a collapse here, that's going to be 2 quick kills.
Yeah, chill, Vadas. He's going to fall down to the hot hands of Michael Checo. Dr. L giving out prescriptions. Nikwid, sit down and get some bed rest. Elevate with their 14th kill of the contest. Clean up. 3 players dead on the side of Strictly Business. And the Gold Fury has Elevate's name all over it.
Already getting 2 earlier on, securing their 3rd one of the game. Elevate skyrocketing their goal lead to beyond the 4,000 gold mark. Experience as well is not too shabby here at the 21.5 minute mark.
I thought Shalibur was just going to get sandwiched. Elevate looked like a trash compactor from left to right, and Shaliber was just going to get smoked out in the middle. I almost felt, I was sitting there like, oh no.
Not again.
Not Shaliber.
He's been the focus for Elevate a lot in the first game whenever Shaliber was playing the Kukulkan, and now yet again, despite playing the Chang'e God, that's a little bit more safe than the Kukulkan, despite having to be a little bit closer into the action. You have the immunity frames, you have the heal for Chang'e, but despite all of that, 6 deaths for this mid laner out of Strictly Business.
Shaliber winds up having a decent amount of deaths in most of his games. His positioning is reckless. His positioning is dangerous. I won't say outright bad, because at the same time he winds up getting kills as well, but he trades out because he's always far ahead. He's not really depending on his front liners, which is why I like him on the Chang'e, because he has an excuse to be that close up, first of all, and 2, he can get out. He heals himself, he dances away, he can actually get himself into trouble and then escape. Unfortunately for Shaliber, he's 6 deaths in this game, only 2 kills. Looking for more here as Chilvannis sets up Reminisced, and big damage out of the Chang'e is a possibility. Still, this time around, staying safe in the back line.
Kenshin just gets absolutely melted here. His build is just not helping him out until he finishes off that Mad Guy's Bless and Baronic on the side. Really looking to catch somebody out of position. He could get a 4-man ultimate here.
Michael Checo in some trouble. There's going to be an escape from the soul. He'll escape up top thanks to the jungler's help. Reminisced finally takes down Dr. L. Meanwhile, Shaliber staying close to the objective and just healing his teammates up. Baronic here wants to make a play, but knows he's got to be careful.
He could still look for a lot of damage here, able to walk away from Reminisce. The rest of the members out of Strictly Business trying to zone out as Fatal Ghost secures himself that Portal Demon.
Yeah, Baronic wanted to look for the over the wall, but he couldn't find it. Down goes the Portal Demon. Elevator able to go ahead and watch Strictly Business start to fight their way back into this. Previously up about 3,500, now 2,800 is the lead for Elevate. So slowly chipping away is Strictly Business. And if they continue to make plays like we just saw, if they continue to have team fights like we've seen, if Shaliber plays a little bit safer and they're able to really punish Baronic, then, I mean, this game can go in Elevate's way, absolutely no problem.
All it's going to take is that one crucial team fight on either side. Strictly Business needs to drag on some of these team fights because of the healing from Shaliber. However, we saw just how quickly Strictly Business was able to blow up Kenshin. That one Athenaton Nemesis ultimate just ruined the life of the Sun Wukong support before even taking into the sky to get off that healing. But this next item that he's working on here is going to be that Mad Guy's Blessing. That's going to keep him alive, or at least prevent himself from getting taunted. So he'll have to, Strictly Business will have to wait for once that bubble's off to go for a secondary taunt.
Yeah, so Fatal Ghost here on the left side, playing on the ROM. We've seen an okay game from him so far. Nothing really to write home about on the ROM. I liked him better on the Jingwei.
Yeah, Jingwei was crucial for Fatal Ghost in finding the plays earlier on, and as the ROM plays thus far, he's been using a lot of these ultimates defensively in the earlier stages. Now he's been finding a little bit more player damage on his side of things, but it's just not enough compared to Michael Checo that's been playing this soul rather effectively here. Level 19, taking a little bit of poke, but going to retreat with that Disapparate, having a 2-level lead, and having even more damage so.
Yeah, this is a very peculiar game. We're 25 minutes in, and our hunters and our mid lane mages are relatively low on the player damage chart. Obviously, you're going to expect to see some of your solo laners up there. They're always battling it out, but our top damage is our 18k Raven with a Habwa third from the bottom and his opposing Chang'e fourth from the bottom.
But those guys that you just mentioned, they have a power curve once they get those items online. Once that happens, it's the later stages. A lot of engagement here as Dr. L uses that Mystic Rush. Supernova even being committed onto Chilvannis, but not going to find anything out of it.
Yeah, Baronic coming in from the jungle, looking for the gank on the right side of the left lane. But he's going to be spotted out. He's not going to have the sneaky opposition shot that he thought he was going to be able to have. As the solo lane Bologna is able to sniff him out. Nickwood shows up and smacks him and slowly walks away. And what we had here was going to be the initiation, but as soon as Baronic got shown up, he started to back off. But now here he is. He gets stunned out by Shaliber, who was sitting there waiting for him. Fatal Ghost can't find the shots, but Reminisce is going to follow him up. Ultimate forced out defensively. That's no good. Well done by Strictly Business to keep control of this Ebo.
Oh no, Reminisce is flanking Baronic could be in a lot of trouble if he doesn't see this.
He doesn't know.
One slice and dice, one in hand. Goodbye, Baronic.
Scotty doesn't know it. He's gone. Elevate lose their mid laner. He just wasn't paying attention. You know what? I eat my words. I talked about Shalibur's positioning being poor. This is working out. This is exactly where you want this Chang'e to be.
Right beside your Hunter to be able to top him off if he takes all this damage from Delny. But now it's Reminisce trying to find another kill onto the other hyper carry, Michael Checo, with 1% of health, trying to run away. Nice little Aegis Amulet, going to buy him a little bit of time here. The double dash coming online, sustained from Shalibur, but Delny's not done yet. Going to force out the dance from Shalibur, and that's going to be a wash. It was just a 1-for-1.
Yeah, it's like Shalibur was listening to the commentary and said, I got to show Tom what I can do, because that positioning in that team fight is arguably why SB winds up on top. One, as soon as we noted that there was a team fight that was going to happen, and then they saw Baronic and they said, okay, we're going to not do this because there's going to be a Hobwa just killing us. So then everything goes awry and they restart the team fight. Everybody seems to forget about Hebo except for Shalibur, and he waits there in the lane knowing Hebo's going to come through, smacks him with the Waxing Moon, hits him one time, and knows that he has to retreat.
Elevate are just walking around the map very casually, I would say, because the way that all started off was Dr. L avoiding the taunt rather from Sylvanas with that overhead kick, but then right around the corner behind the Robin jungle was Baronic exposing himself right beside that purple buff, and that was a very easy target switch to go from a Robin right beside a Hobwa that's nowhere near anybody else, because everybody else from his teammates was around that tier 1 tower in the duel lane.
Just trouble. Now it's going to be a little bit better for Elevate as they start with the Gold Fury, 25 already. Sylvanas is here, but everybody's going to peel off the Gold Fury and look for the kills instead, Anatoly.
Fatal Ghost, he uses ultimate, and that's a huge cooldown that's going to allow Elevate to try to get something from it. The Sunder's going to miss onto Dr. L, Rolling Assault being used backwards, trying to escape. Not going to chase down the Rama player despite the dash and ultimate being down.
Tension popped in the ultimate nice and early. Kind of curious on that one, but he'll heal up a little bit. Level 15 on the Sun Wukong. Magi Blessing is completed. Gold Fury not going to be started again. Instead, it will be the Oracles that will go the way of Elevate. Tully, that Gold Fury was almost dead. Was it the right choice to leash it?
They didn't want it to be stolen away by Fatal Ghost's Astral Barrage. That does a lot of damage. All 3 hits, especially now that he's level 19, having 4 points into that ultimate, doing a lot of base damage. Not really too worried about the scaling here with his item choices. Instead, just looking for the potential steal.
So a half hour of play or just about here, folks, on this Memorial Day. Elevate go ahead and they take game number 1. Thanks to Baronic's Thoth play, just really strong stuff coming out from them in the first game of the day. But now here in game number 2, they find themselves up only 3,000 gold. SB fought in and out of game 1 and still couldn't find the victory, and they're kind of doing that this game, but Elevate seem to have a little bit more control here this time around.
Elevate have been just grouping up. They've been successful at times, but then unsuccessful in the mid to late game. They've just stripped away too many red buffs here from Strictly Business, but eventually that started to backfire here as Baronic, without the boots here, doing about half of the health from Reminisce off of those 2 abilities alone.
Exactly, that's what I mean. He finds the water spout and he can really wreak havoc at this point in the game. Now Gold Fury leashed a second time and Kelly taking down Shalibur off the assist for the mid lane mage. Here comes trouble as Fatal Ghost gets hit. 2 players get hit by the Hobwa ultimate. Big knockup for Baronic, who's going to be able to walk away despite the shots out of Fatal Ghost. Now trouble on the left side, make that the right. Delny takes down Sylvanas. Again, water spout, water hands. Michael Checo gets the kill. Baronic just surging up 14k player damage.
Kenshin wants this. He goes into the skies. The decoy going to absorb some of the tower shots. Fatal Ghost using that Aegis Amulet just to run away. Reminisce here using that Nemesis ultimate, but too little, too late. Kenshin just going to walk away cleanly. I think that was a 3-for-0. Elevate succeeding very well there.
Yeah, so interesting the way that we're seeing Baronic use the Hobwa. Now, he's known for the big damage, obviously, that's what I keep talking about, but the knockups are so important. And the rest of his team, look at that, 24, 24, 26,000 player damage for his other 3 supporting players. That's ideal. I mean, that's you want that. If you're not able to get your damage out in these team fights because you're being too hard focused, provide the control and allow your teammates to pick up the mantle. Fatal Ghost falls to the hand of Checo. The Fire Giant not fit. No, the Fire Giant was finished. Look at that one.
Elevate
able to walk away.
Elevate securing that Fire Giant despite the Defender of Olympus trying to keep Fatal Ghost alive to get in position to steal that Fire Giant. It just wasn't enough. Chilvanas and Fatal Ghost couldn't really contend that Fire Giant call. Elevate secured that one, taking out the Hunter as well from Strictly Business. Still dead for another 30 seconds, and this Fire Giant buff should secure them quite a bit of towers and gold.
Yeah, they're going to group up very soon. Michael Checo gets jumped on, but there's help in the wings. Delny right around the corner, and Nickwood will have to walk away from that. Level 20 are Hunters, as well as Delny himself.
I like the idea there that the Bologna Soul Laner tried to do for Nickwood, but the fact of the matter was there's a Fire Giant buff, there's also the heat being used from Soul, which gives you a little bit of self-healing. So all that damage that Nickwood did is not going to really matter here during the siege. And now there's no Eagle's Rally.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the biggest problem for me. Eagle's Rally, it's a stun. Right there, he used it for a stun. He didn't use it for the 50 protections. And when you're playing defense against a Fire Giant team, you need the 50 protections. Ooh, just a bad spot to use that ultimate.
Reminisce. Going to do a good job using that shield to negate a lot of the damage, get some health back. Fatal Ghost taken into the sky, trying to get off some damage here. Not really on the mark with a lot of these shots, except for that last one.
But even still, him taking to the sky alone causes Elevate to spread out. They can't really group up and look for the push. After it's done, Delny does exactly that, jumping forward, and Dr. L's going to follow as well. But it's Delny that falls. Chilvanas gets a strong taunt and gets the kill.
Baronic very low on the side, being isolated yet again. Eagles Rally off of cooldown, up and down, bludgeoned, being absorbed by the Aegis, getting slowed by the Yellow River. Dr. L saving his mid laner.
Now Baronic missed the knockup, still able to get out of there thanks to help from the team. Reminisce turns around on Dr. L, but there's a good knockup this time around. Baronic, where are you going? What are you doing? Oh, Fatal Ghost kills Baronic off of miserable pathing.
He was afraid of Reminisce on the backhand side. Reminisce committed to the double dash backwards, but Reminisce was at about 20% health, and that could have just been one water cannon to kill this Nemesis.
I mean, absolutely. You are correct. But even still, you got to group up with the team. Baronic just takes the wrong pathing and now loses tier 1 and tier 2. This is a tier 2 for SB without a doubt. Elevate are up by about 6,000 gold. Kenshin loses his life for no reason. They're going to be up about 5,000 after this tower falls down. And it looks like they're pushing for the Phoenix.
They're trying to go for whatever they can get. Currently,
Phoenix
Delny is here, though, with Michael Checo right around the corner, looking for the flank. One good Supernova could be all he needs to hold on to this Phoenix.
Even still, Phoenix half HP already. Here comes help from Nickwood as well. Trouble for Michael Checo. He's now the flank. He's getting flanked himself. Down goes the mid lane Phoenix. Easy peasy. Love the turnaround and the just smart play coming out from Strictly Business. Fatal Ghost, he's marvels.
Delny taking out Chilvanas as well, so I had to laugh at that one.
that got you?
Yeah, I mean, like, hitting the first shot with a Rama snipe, marvels.
He's marvels.
You gotta hit all three at least to be considered marvels.
Nah, man. Because I know exactly. It's every time Rom shows up.
Marvels.
Not marvels. Marvels. Not marvels. And I've never made the call. So I figured at the least impactful moment, I just go, he's marvels.
Well, Strictly Business back in the game. They get the mid Phoenix. They're able to cut the deficit by 2,000 gold only now.
That's incredible. And that, I mean, totally, you're the analyst. So I would like you to tell us why Strictly Business was able to make this happen.
The taunts from Chilvanas just sets up too much here. Elevate are just not prepared for the incoming damage. The ultimate from Nemesis, negating the health and the protections from a lot of these tanky targets. You were talking about it during picks and bans. The Osiris Raven being completely countered by this Nemesis pick, and Chilvanas has just been on point, setting up very easy kills for his whole teammates, even getting a lot of the kills for himself with that Sunder.
But was there a moment in that last team fight that really caused it to just go in the other direction?
Yeah. There was one player in particular.
You're the analyst.
It's the Hawa.
Yeah, I know. He took the wrong pathing. He walked the wrong way. Oh, my goodness. This is his chance. This is Baronic's chance to really get redemption, however. Portal being focused. And I like positioning coming out from Kenshin. I'd like him to be a little bit more up front, but there it is, Delny with the initiation, and Michael Checo's ultimate not going to do much of anything. Baronic, great ultimate, money! Dr. L finishes off Fatal Ghost. Shaliber on the back end is going to be chased out by the Osiris. Chilvannis has to help out his friend, and because of that, Nikwid by himself, he'll join his teammate. Fatal Ghost on the bench, 60 seconds. Elevate opened the door for the Fire Giant.
All they needed was that one team fight. We talked about this magical combination between Michael Checo and Baronic. They're able to get off one successful team fight, diving the backline. Both Delny and Dr. L forces Fatal Ghost into the sky very early in the team fight, and everyone was just waiting for him to land back down. Easy, clean pickings, and then Nikwid, secondary victim to follow. Now, 5-on-3 advantage for another 35 seconds going for the Fire Giant, but if they're not successful here, they could take a lot of Titan damage. There's going to be some fire minions down there.
That's true. I think it's worth, though. Remnant's going to walk away. Oh, if they peel off, however, they're going to have to go back and defend. Fire Giant down to 89%. This is troublesome. They send the Hobwab back. In that team fight, though, I do want to eat my words. I asked that Sun Wukong, I want him to be a little bit more up front, but that was the protection for the Hobwa that needed it. Big stun coming out from Chang'e, but not enough follow-up damage. The players on Elevate are tanky totally, and Michael Checo's able to take down Shaliber with the help of Sun Wukong, Robin, Osiris. It doesn't matter if you stun them. Look at that. They're still able to kill you.
Very slow is Chilvannis going to get knocked up by Kenshin. Checo taken out by Reminisce in the back, but Chilvannis taken out by Dr. L. Fatal Ghost is here looking for this knife. Connects on the first, misses second and third, but Nikwid's here as well. We see Baronic taking out Reminisce. Up and down Eagles Rally, not on the mark either. And that's going to be Dr. L taking a spill 3 for 2.
Mystical Male wakes up the Fire Giant. Little knock up there on Kenshin. Fire Giant not able to go down, and the Phoenix is going to fall.
They're trying to save it, though. Everybody's peeling back from Elevate. They're not really worried about this Fire Giant call. Instead, keeping their mid-Phoenix alive. Baronic going back in. They need this Hobwa around the corner to be able to contest the Fire Giant. One good knock-up is all they need out of this mid-mage.
Keeping this Phoenix alive in the mid lane is one of the most important things that Elevate has done. If this Phoenix goes down, then they're on that timer where we said they have the Fire Giant opportunity, but they can only get one shot. If that Phoenix is up, they're focusing the Fire Giant, they peel, they kill Reminisce, they go back to the Fire Giant, no problem. They can't go back to the Fire Giant in that instance because the Fire Minions are tunneling into their base. Now that the Phoenix is up, it's protected. There's no longer Fire Minions coming down that lane totally. They are much more ready, excuse me, to go ahead and take out the Fire Giant. 26-20, almost 40 minutes in, and they're up 4,000.
Because of that one mechanic of the Fire Minions flooding down the middle wave, everyone from Elevate, despite having that 3-on-2 advantage, was forced to focus on that mid lane instead of the Fire Giant objective. Despite getting a lot of damage, a lot of health regen from this buff, you got to prioritize what's going to be the key factor to prevent your opponents from winning the game. And by exposing your Titan, they're open to try to end the game at any given moment because there's also a lot of burst damage from Strictly Business to be able to backdoor.
One good knockup happens onto Chilvannis, already down to 75% HP. Fatal Ghost takes to the sky. Meanwhile, flanking comes Nikwid, looking at both Baronic and the problematic Hunter on the back line, but Baronic trades out with Reminisce. That's going to be a 1-for-1 trade so far. Michael Checo still doing damage on the right side while Reminisce exits out the left side, being chased out by the support, but he's bringing Athena with him. Elevate's going to have an advantage here by the Portal Demon.
Nikwid's baiting a lot of cooldown. Shaliber is full and healthy. He's trying to dive the backline. The Mystic Crush being used. Shaliber was healthy, but now the Aegis Family being used. Michael Checo taken out by Reminisce. The Bludgeon doing a lot of damage as well. It's up to Dr. L to be able to try to survive, but the Thunder comes through. Lord of the Afterlife onto Shaliber, preventing the healing, but he's going to dance away.
Taunt! Chilvannis just changes the face of the game. One taunt, Reminisce able to kill Dr. L. That's kill number 10 for the Jungle Nemesis. 10, 4, and 12. Almost single-handedly keeping this team alive. But, I mean, gotta give credit where it's due. Chilvannis with a great taunt. Shaliber is keeping players alive with the heal. His positioning has definitely improved from earlier in this game. And then you take a look at what Reminisce is able to do. Just clean up.
And Fatal Ghost sacrificing his life for 3 different targets out of Elevate, allowing both Strictly Business to be able to get this tier 2 tower and wait for the respawn timer for Fatal Ghost to allow him to also get this Fire Giant buff.
Delny just squished out. Coming
Nemesis,
up,
man.
Just looking, that's the thing. Between a Sunder and a Nemesis, you take a look at what Osiris is usually, and he just looks like terry cloth.
Especially, like,
I mean, it's very soft.
You don't even need the ultimate from Nemesis. The way her passive works also strips away some of the power and the protections against you. So that's going to be very difficult to survive if you're this mid to late game warrior that you're used to being so tanky. All of a sudden, you have to deal with this Nemesis. A lot of teams are going to be looking at this game and be like, huh, Nemesis, huh?
Exactly. I mean, Sunder is Nemesis ult in a bottle, right? Like, that's the colloquialism. We always joke around like that. But seriously, it's flat damage, percent damage, and a shred. Well, you put a Nemesis in there as well. You're just getting assaulted.
Some of the tank killers are the Nemesis and the Sarkhet. Diving the backline, though, is Nickwood, Reminisced, and Sylvanas. Finding the kill on Kenshin. Spreading like the Red Sea. The Yellow Sea, nowhere to go. Baronic taking a spill. That's going to be his 9th death of the game.
The surrender vote comes out. The Titan is going to die either way. But that right there is inherently what we were talking about, Habwa. We can watch him win a game where he hits those ults and players fall, and he wins the game for his team, or we can watch him lose a game. He misses everybody with the ultimate, and because of that one, Strictly Business able to just walk in and walk out. 28-28, nice and even. It was a back and forth battle, but Strictly Business comes out on top.
They get a split at the end of the day. Elevate looking very strong in game number 1 with that top play from Baronic, but then unfortunate set of circumstances, just too squishy, too out of position, too aggressive on this Habwa, not getting the mobility that he really needed to. He was going for that early Bancroft's talent, and this is why he's got a lot of those early deaths, but his late game positioning, despite all that early game shenanigans that he was doing, he could have cleaned it up a lot in that mid to late game.
I'm all disheveled after watching all that team fighting, but at the end of the day, it winds up being a split, as Toli said. We've got 2 more games coming at you. Astral Authority, stay tuned for the SCL.